welcome to another edition of CTRM Radio, an ad hoc podcast by Commodity Technology Advisory. We are hosted on ctrmcenter.com and ettcenter.net, your place for everything related to CTRM and commodity management software, as well as the energy transition. My name is Kevin Mossop, an affiliate advisor with Comtech Advisory. On today's podcast, I'll be speaking with Mr. Michael Snayd, who's the Director of Sales for the Americas for Fendall International. I'd like to welcome Mr. Michael Snayd, who's the Director of Sales for the Americas for Fendall International. Thanks for taking the time to speak with me today.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
I know you've been working hard over the past 18 months promoting the Fusion CTRM solution in the Americas and looking forward to hearing some further updates from you today. Fendall's had recent success signing up new customers ranging from small to medium to large with reference to their trading operations. Can you explain some of the feedback you've received from these customers regarding their decision criteria that led them to buy the Fendall's Fusion platform?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having me part of your show. I know we talk all the time, so it's kind of nice to get together and actually talk about the things in the marketplace.
And actually see you face to face.
Exactly. We have seen a great increase in activity, and that activity has now grown into actual revenue growth for Fusion and Fendall. So we've seen some great success here lately, like you mentioned, small, medium, and large. The primary driver of this is just they want change. They're certainly looking at this as there's got to be some choices in the marketplace, which is always good for us and other competitors, is to be competitive against some of the other players in the marketplace. And these companies are making huge investments in technology. And I really believe that Fusion, being the forefront of technology, including, it's in the cloud, it's expandable, and we're not in this development part of our growth phase anymore. We've got a product that is pretty much built out. There's always going to be things that customers bring to us, and those investments are going to be made on our part to make this product better, not only from a global standpoint, but from North America's perspective. And our customers are they're extremely excited about the money that they're spending with us because it's an investment. They see growth in the future of their business. Lately, a lot of our customers that have come on board have started out small, and they continually come to us for expansion of their business, new users, they're buying businesses and assets, and we've just seen a great growth in this market, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, those are all great signs. I know your recent wins include customers in both ags and metals businesses, along with energy customers in natural gas, as well as crude and refined products. Could you comment on how the Fusion product adapts to meet the requirements of these customers trading such diverse commodities?
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of years ago, when we started this push into the U.S. market, we started seeing a lot of activity around different markets, especially in the ag space. And we approached this ags customer. What we realized is our product has some very unique things that overlap into different spaces, like quality assurance and quality control, quality specs. We were able to take that functionality and apply it to some agricultural business, and that expanded us into a new market. So we're very excited about that. But the system is very easy to adapt to many different functional footprints. I mean, risk is basically traded the same. You've got close dates, you've got settlement dates, and so forth. But every commodity has its different nuances of how it's being supported. Fusion just does an amazing job of taking that particular trade and breaking it out in its components from a financial standpoint, but just physically moving it. It's been great. So we've got customers from refined products and crude, rack business, pipeline business, natural gas pipeline, as well as just trucking of different commodities has been very successful for us. And we just see this huge expansion from metals. We're getting a lot of activity around metals and ags. If you were to pinpoint like one commodity that's really driving this, I would definitely say it's the energy space because of the policy changes, the volatility in the marketplace. We're seeing a lot of activity and a lot of interest in either replacing an old outdated system or just expanding their business that they've never been on a system before, maybe spreadsheets or some old system. So we've seen a lot of activity in the rack space and energy, and then of course ags and metals.
Yeah, that is a diverse commodity spread. I've got experience in this industry. I know what some of those differences and challenges are, and yeah,
Yeah.
trading and risk is trading and risk, and there are subtle differences. But when you get into the physical logistics and managing assets, it definitely is a lot more complex.
Yeah.
I know you've had success in the refined product space. What are some of the key functional capabilities with the Fusion solution that have caught the attention of customers that are managing a refined products business?
Yeah, great question. So when we started this journey, we realized that we went up against one of the most amazing competitor in this space, right? Who's been dominating this space for many, many years. And the reason they've done it is they've had great integration with third parties. And we realized that the investment for us is going to have to be in developing these adapters to these various systems like DTN, um, Transport 4, tax engines, all that was going to be important. So we took on that investment and we were able to create some things that really propelled us into this marketplace that drove us into the rack space. And we've had some amazing success with some great customers here recently that are investing in this integration. So we can proudly report that we are competing directly with one of the largest players. And that integration requires things like I mentioned, like DTN. We have that integration out there. So all BOLs could come in are matched to the PIX codes, which is awesome. We've got great responses from that. And as well as the taxation, we're able to handle all the taxing and pricing that typically recurs at a rack system like that. So we've got some great partners that are working with us, and we've launched them into production. And we continually see new business coming our way because we've addressed these issues that you have to address in this space. Otherwise, you're not going to be successful.
Well, that's impressive. It's definitely challenging when you get into the complex physical side of the business with something around, with refined products and all the
Oh yeah.
complexities around inventory management, the different types of logistics models, et cetera.
The
Um,
feedback has been phenomenal. Like we've shown this too, and I wanted to mention this. We've got some really strong partners, the SIs in this space that have really invested their time in reviewing Fusion, and we thought this was a great way for us to prove ourselves in the marketplace. And so a lot of these SIs have invested in our product and looking at, okay, do they have the functional footprint to take on this customer base? And the response has been so positive. I mean, we always expect, oh, we're going to have these huge gaps in our system. And what they're finding is Fusion's very configurable because it's built in stack. It's a Microsoft product. It's built in the cloud. And they're able to configure the system in a way that can adjust to a customer's requirements. And the feedback has been great. Thumbs up, promoting us. And that helps us be successful when we do approach a customer that we're not going into this with a 20% fit. We're going into it with a 90 to 95% fit, and then there's some configuration, but our customers are the ones driving the innovation within our product, which is great.
no, it sounds good. Sounds exciting. I want to switch topics for a sec. AI is certainly a hot topic these days. What
Oh
what are
yeah.
you hearing from some of your existing customers and prospective customers on the AI front, and what capabilities does Vendall have on the product roadmap?
Sure. So product roadmap will continue to build out the capabilities with AI. We are a partner of Microsoft, so we're a lab partner with them developing new technology. We originally, together with them, approached them to build in an AI tool, which exists today. So if you buy Fusion, you did get the AI capability. And what that allows us to do is instead of writing script to the back end and knowing the data model, you can just literally use native language. Hey, bring me back all crude trades at this location for this time frame with this counterparty at this price. It brings back all the data. Then from there, you can report on it. You can slice and dice. But we see a great advantage to our system having that capability. But we're also looking at ways to improve AI. It's got to be a way that can find things, find problems, solve issues. Someone told me they said, AI is like a baby. Until you train that baby to be, efficient in what it's doing, to grow that baby into a position where they're an adult, then that adult makes great decisions. And that's what AI is continually doing. You have to teach it constantly on what to do. But we see some great things from settlements to logistics to actually setting up data in the system. Those are some of our goals that we're going to plan to do for AI for Fusion. But we see it's an amazing tool, and we're getting a lot of really, really positive feedback from our clients.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I definitely see AI can solve simple problems simply, but we're watching to see where it can start to solve more complex problems and really improve the efficiency of the end users.
there's a lot of tools, Kevin, that are being established in this marketplace that I think whether we build it or we partner with someone, I think AI is here. It's certainly something that will increase data flow. It could do a lot of different things. So we're excited about having AI as part of Fusion.
Yeah, I think we're going to see it mature fairly quickly over the next one
Oh
to
yeah.
2 years. So, setting aside specific functional requirements, what are some of the key criteria that prospective customers are seeking as they contemplate the acquisition of a CTRM system in today's market?
The number one thing to them is integration. They've got to have integration to data lakes, to third-party systems, um, ERP systems. As you know, we've been chasing this for 20 years. It's become very easy. I mean, we're a partner with SAP, with Oracle, with other ERPs, pricing engines and pricing points, all the different straight-through processes from a trading platform are all built. But the challenge always becomes, can you take on a business? Can you take our business on and then grow with us? The way that Fusion is deployed, it's a very easy system to deploy, get people on it. It's in the cloud, so it ramps up as the business ramps up. Our upgrades are simple and easy and straightforward. You're not having to spend millions and millions of dollars to invest in the product over a period of time. We keep our customers up to date. We see a lot of physical assets, like help me physically manage my assets, whether it's a rack, an inventory location, shipping, material. That is the big push, is they've got to be able to manage their asset, because they see that as their biggest risk, is having to own all that inventory and having to sell it is a great risk to them, and they're looking upon us to really solve that problem.
Yeah, physical assets always complicate the ETRM, CTRM space, right? Even if it's just one or two assets,
Yeah.
it just takes things to the next level. It's always been the side of the business that I've been interested in myself. So
Yeah, and one of the challenges we faced was we didn't come into this space just as a trading platform. I know there's a lot of great systems out there that they 100% focus on, trading activity, which we have. But we realized that we have to tackle the physical side of it with reporting on inventory. You need to be able to account for every molecule, just on like in the gas world. If you move that gas, you're going to have to account for every molecule up and down that system. And we've got great customers that have really helped us build out the functional footprint of that. And then as well as you've got to account for it. So having a great accounting system on the back end is really important as well. And then the integration, obviously, with different ERPs.
I'll definitely agree with you. I spent a lot of years chasing every molecule and every penny.
Yeah, and that still exists. People care about that 5 cents, that 10 cents. It all adds
Yeah,
up. A system should be able to. You should be able to account for every little single asset or trade in the system. That's easy stuff.
yeah,
Should be
exactly.
at least. Yep.
So in summary, where do you see the best opportunities for Fendall in the Americas as you look at the second half of 2025 and into 2026?
I see it in the physical realm. People that have strong assets. We're seeing a lot of activity around producers that are looking to get off legacy systems. Rack business that have not traditionally been buying in to the e-term space for one reason. One, they can't afford some of the larger systems out there. I know that there's been a lot of push from different vendors to get into the lower tier space. We're seeing a lot of activity on established companies that have multiple assets that are willing to invest in great technology. And they want to, if they're going to make the investment now, they want that technology to be here for the next 25 years. What they're telling me is that a lot of the technology that's been out there for the last 25 years will not grow with them. And they're not going to pay that enormous upfront cost to get some older technology in there. And that's why it's so attractive to these companies to approach us around Fusion, is because we can get them in on a small level. 5 users is a great example. And that 5 user turns into 30, 40, 50 over a period of time. And there's not this expansion of having to pay a lot of money. So I think the technology is really driving us in this physical space for sure. And we're
Yes.
excited. Like, we're a disruptor, as you know. Like, I love being a disruptor because it drives innovation, right? Like, you could see these rock and roll bands behind me. Without them, we would not have rock and roll as it exists today. So like Rush and the Clash and Led Zeppelin they paved the way for us, just like in
Uh,
technology.
yeah, we're on the same page on that front as well.
Love music.
Michael, I'd like to thank you for providing updates on the Fusion solution and your recent successes in the Americas. I
You're
look forward
welcome.
to talking to you in the future and progress updates on your initiatives. Thanks again for taking the time to speak with me today.
You're absolutely welcome. Thanks, Kevin.
All right, take care.
You too.